Okay, y'all, so I'm doing my hair, but I just want to give y'all a story time about how I manifested my man. So let's get into it. So, first thing I had to do was work on my self concept because I had got out of a bad breakup and my self esteem wasn't where I wanted to be. I didn't feel like deserving of the type of love that I desired. So I had to build myself up, my self concept up, and tell myself things like, well, internalize things like, I'm deserving of the love that I desire. I'm worthy of being treated like a queen. All these things that I wanted in my relationship, I made sure to affirm that in myself, within my self concept, because you are what you attract. So if you want to attract this person, you have to become that. So, when working on my self concept and everything, I wasn't dating. I was really ensuring that I honed all this energy on focusing and just becoming the version of myself that was in this relationship. So, the main thing I did was mirror work. Mirror work was amazing for me. Like every day when I got up or before I went to sleep, I had like a handheld mirror like near my bed, and I just like again stare into my eyes and just say these affirmations to myself. I wanted someone who recognized me as a goddess, so I had to first recognize myself as that. So I would tell myself, I'm treated like the goddess I am. I am worthy of love. I am spoiled within my relationship. All these things that I wanted to internalize because of the type of relationship that I wanted. Should I do a middle part, y'all? I really don't know. And what's funny, because everything is connected, when I was working on my self concept and like, actualizing that version of myself, my entire reality shifted. When I went to like the grocery store, places treat people would treat me like I was VIP or something. Like I was always one thing that I was affirming. Like people loved, making my life easier. People loved like giving me things for free and just all that. And that was reflected in my reality, not just like with my man, and like because he hasn't actualized yet, but the people around me, my environment, when I went out and everything, those people started to reflect my self-concept back to me. So that's one thing. Like when you like start doing this work, even though you're focusing on something specific, your entire reality is going to shift around that. So once my self concept was where I wanted to be, that's when I started the actual process of consciously like calling this person into my reality. Because beforehand, I knew that even though I wanted a relationship, I wasn't really ready for one. But at this point, I felt that I was ready and well equipped to handle a relationship and someone else's, feelings and everything. So the first thing that I did, like, it was get specific about what I wanted. Not like looks or anything, but like characteristic wise, their personality, maybe their hobbies, what they're into. I knew what it was I wanted. And then what I did was the first thing I did, okay, there was kind of like three methods that I did. So we're going to talk about that. So the first thing that I did was like, okay, basically I would just like talk out loud, like in my mirror, in my closet, I just talk out loud as if I was on the phone with him. Mind you, I'm not talking to anybody, but I'm consciously creating this scenario in my head of me on the phone with my partner. And I just continue this conversation as if we were having a conversation, like, IRL, like over the phone. Okay, y'all decided on middle part. But yeah, basically having these phone conversations by myself, but imagining I was talking to my partner. I'd do things like, ask him how his day was. He'd ask me how my day was. We just literally be chatting like how do you chat to your partner if you were on the phone with them. Another thing that you can do that I've heard people talk about, I personally didn't do it, but you can like make room for that person, like on your bed. Like if you usually sleep with like clothes on the other half of your bed, like maybe move the clothes, or if you can like, if you have a dresser, maybe, move up some stuff out of a certain drawer so they have their own drawer. It's like preparing your current reality for the incoming of that person. Okay, another thing that I did was whenever I would make dinner, I'd imagine me making dinner for both of us instead of just myself. And then when I'd sit down to eat, I'd imagine them like sitting with me, and that's like conversing, like, how was your day, how's your evening going, blah blah blah, just relationships talk or whatever. So this really helps your mind get into that state of something that's already happened, even though it technically hasn't happened yet. So this is where things get real serious, okay? So I'm an astrology girly. I love knowing what's going on in the sky and how that pertains to my life down here on Earth. So I know a transit was coming up that I could use to manifest this. It was a new moon. New moons are great for setting intentions. It's empty because you can fill the moon up with whatever you want to manifest, and it should have actualized by the time there's a full moon in that same side. So the new moon was happening in Pisces, and Pisces is my 5th house, right? So the 5th house is the house of romance, love, creativity, joy, that childlike expression and everything. So I knew that I would be using this transit this would be the transit that I would be using to manifest, because it was literally perfect. I knew I wanted romance. I knew I wanted love in my life. So I was okay, like, boom, we're going to use this transit to manifest. So again, because the 5th house is that house of like, creativity and everything, I decided that I was going to paint. And when I was painting, I set the intentions on the painting. I was like, okay, I'm painting this. This painting is a painting of me and my partner looking out into the sunset. Hold on, let me show y'all. This is the painting that I made on that day. I don't think I dated it, but I set the intention that this is like what I was painting. This is what me and my partner were looking at. So I had him in mind while painting this, okay? In addition to that, Venus is in my 11th house. So I knew that I would meet my partner like in some type of social environment, whether that be social media or through my friends or dating apps. So like I just knew it wasn't going to be through my friends. So I was on a dating app at the time, right? And boom. So after I painted the painting that night, whenever I was going to sleep, I also did the O method. If you don't know what that is, look it up, because I'm not going to talk about that. But like I did that, right? And boom, that was the night of February 27, 2025. That was the night of the Pisces new moon. And then I met him on March 3rd, 2025. And we've literally been together ever since. It's been like over 7 months now. So, oh yeah, I didn't even show y'all my hair. Finally done. But yeah, if anyone is looking to manifest their partner or anything, definitely try these methods out. I would recommend, though, if your self-concept is not where it needs to be, definitely do some shadow work around your perception of love and relationships and everything. Comment down below and I will send you the link for my free shadow work ebook that helps really dive deeply into these topics and into these beliefs that we hold ourselves. So yeah,